Hi there. Thanks for your interest in the Wawa Cultural Resource Mapping Project. My name is Johanna Rowe, and I'm going to take about 5 minutes of your time. I'm going to talk about this exciting new project that the town of Wawa is started and that I'm coordinator for. During this slideshow, I'm going to give you an overview. We're going to talk about what is cultural mapping, why do we do it, how do we do it, who will be involved, and what timelines are for this project and when we plan on having it completed. So what do we mean by cultural resource mapping? The really dry definition is that it is a systematic approach to identifying, recording, and analyzing a community's cultural assets. We have two different types of assets: the tangibles, which are the things that you can touch, like buildings, artifacts, photographs, etc., or the intangibles, which are the things you can't touch, they are just there, the stories, the atmosphere, the character of the place, the four seasons. We've divided cultural resources up into 6 categories. The federal government and Stats Canada has defined them in these different areas. They are community cultural organizations, creative cultural industries, festivals and events, natural heritage, cultural heritage, spaces and facilities. And then there's these subheadings that these are certainly not all of them, but as you read through them, I'm sure you can see that a lot of different assets in your own community in Wawa fall into all the different places, like the cemeteries, the gardens and forests, the parks, the waterfalls, authors and journalists, radio and television broadcasting. We may not have all of these things, but we do have a large chunk of them, and these are all defined as our cultural resources. Now, why do we do a cultural resource mapping project? What we're doing is trying to identify the quality of place for our community. We're finding that the traditional economic development method was to encourage big business to come to a community and then the people will follow. Well, what they're finding now is the opposite is true, that what you want to do is provide a place where people want to live, where there's a quality of life. People will move to that area and then the businesses will follow, because the businesses want to be in that specific spot where the citizens of the community are happy, and that's the reason they're living there, is there's quality of place. Cultural tourism is a rapidly growing industry. People are looking for an authentic experience, something that's a little different. The creative economy is also a rapidly growing industry sector. And the 80% rule, which states that 80% of new businesses that start within a community are actually started by the citizens that live in that community. So place plus culture equals economy. Even though we're finding that the World Wide Web and the internet is making it so easy for us to know what's going on the other side of the world within seconds, we're instant messaging each other, and it seems like no place is unaffected by the internet or satellite communication. But what we're finding is happening is that is enhancing the trend for places and regions and countries to want to identify themselves as different and culturally unique from other areas in the world. So how do we go about developing a cultural resource map? What we want to do is engage the community in identifying their natural and cultural resources and assets. We can do this through doing surveys, interviews, doing presentations at different groups, getting people's input off the internet, websites, Facebook site. We want to provide an opportunity for networking and increasing community pride, so we will ask folks to get together at a specific areas to meet each other, to network, for everyone to be face-to-face and discuss all the different assets that they bring to the table, whether they're representing a certain sector in the community or just an experience that they had in the community. And this information will go on to inform not only the residents, because I think we can all recognize that there are folks within our own community that don't recognize all of the assets that we have in our own backyard, as well as letting this information out, getting this information out to visitors so they recognize how unique and interesting and authentic Wawa is. So again, these are the 6 cultural resources, the 6 different categories of cultural resources. And what we'll be doing is getting this chart out in one form or another to the community to get their input on what they feel are all the different natural and cultural resources within Wawa that go into each of these sectors. Who are we going to be asking? We're going to try to ensure that we talk to all sectors of the community and all age groups. We want to include the sporting activity groups in town, the social services, the government agencies, the medical, the health profession, the education system, all of the different community groups within the community. You can understand that the different ages and the different professions in the community are all going to have different ideas, perhaps, about what the cultural resources and assets are in this town. The partners in this project are, of course, the town of Wawa, the Northern Information Technology and Geomatics Cooperative, where the cultural mapping project is being housed, the Province of Ontario, Wawa Economic Development Corporation, Superior East Community Futures Development Corporation, Confederation College, Community Development Committee, Town of Wawa Heritage Committee, and Mishpecotton Museum Society, as well as the Mishpecotton Public Library. Timelines for this project, from September to October, we're going to be working out the nitty-gritty work plan, who the partners are, what are the parameters and the main focus of the project. November to January, we'll be going out into the community, doing research, collecting public input, and working on how we're going to take that input and digitize it so we can produce a map that's both in print and accessible to the internet for people to access in a digitized format. Then February and March we'll be analyzing the information that we found, look for any trends or any comments that people have that what might have been give us a better idea of what the community feels are the most important assets in the area. And we're going to definitely share that information with everybody that was involved. The project projections for the future are that a comprehensive website will be developed where all of this information will can be accessed, but also provide the users with a website that they can continue to add information as they're moving along, as future events are planned, or if there's information that folks or organizations or tournaments coming up, that they can put this on the website as well too. The municipal cultural plan is would be the secondary step of this cultural mapping project. The cultural map is really the first step in the important objectives of municipal cultural plans, which help municipalities to look at their community through a cultural lens and help them, give them direction on any projects or infrastructure development in the future. This current cultural mapping project also will be the first step in being able to offer this service to other communities who want to do a cultural mapping project, whether individually or in an entire region. So, in conclusion, cultural mapping project, everyone benefits from a community that understands its authentic story. Our strengths and assets, once they're known, we become a more attractive community, working as a whole to build a better future. I hope this has given you an idea about the Wawa Cultural Mapping Project and given you some more information on what it's all about and what it encompasses. If you do need some more information, you can go to our website at www.wawaculture.com. There's areas for you to provide me with input on what you feel the cultural assets and resources are in the community. There's also a Facebook site called the Wawa Cultural Map Facebook site, and I'm regularly posting information and requesting feedback from folks in the community to help me with this really exciting project. Thanks again, and if you have any other questions, please get in touch with me.